It has been quite an eventful time here in East Lansing with a crosstown rivalry, Big Ten play, and even a Spartan team being championship bound. Miriam, it's been an ice-cold week here in East Lansing, but the Spartans were able to bear the freezing conditions, and there was a huge game on Friday night in the Breslin Center. It has been an action-packed September here in East Lansing with football, volleyball, and a very intense game ahead for the soccer team. With basketball season 3 weeks away, you can imagine the excitement is through the roof. The Michigan State basketball team hosted their annual Midnight Madness on Friday. This was the first time the team hosted the event since 2019 due to the pandemic. Even though men's head coach Tom Izzo didn't wear a costume this year, the energy remained high. The main attention grabber was women's head coach Susie Merchant being lifted into the air by a chain. The women's basketball team took on Florida A&M last Thursday at the Breslin Center. Michigan State entered this game coming off an 85-39 win against Oakland on Tuesday, pushing their record to 4-0 on the regular season. Starting early on here in the first quarter, here's Dee Dee Hageman moving the ball over to Kamaria McDaniel. Spartans spreading it around great, and inside to Tyre Parks, who takes the one dribble and gets the and one finish to go. Parks finished with 8 points and 6 rebounds in this one. Moving on to the third quarter, here's Matilda Eck over to Kamaria McDaniel. Back to Eck, and she connects on one of her 4 3-pointers in this one. Staying in the third, here's Julia Aralt with a quick steal and outlet pass out to Moira Joyner, who fires it over to Abby Kimball for the easy layup. With the win, the women's basketball team improved to 5-0. Over the weekend, the Spartans defeated Central Michigan to remain undefeated. The MSU football team took on third-ranked Ohio State on Saturday at Spartan Stadium. The Spartans hosted the undefeated Buckeyes, still in search of their first conference win. We start off in the opening drive in the first quarter for Ohio State. Here's C.J. Stroud out of the play action, launching a 19-yard pass right in the hands of Marvin Harrison Jr., who makes the play over Charles Brantley in the end zone. Harrison was phenomenal, catching 7 passes for 131 yards and 3 touchdowns. Later on in the first now, here's Stroud dropping back, looking, and he's picked off by Charles Brantley, who returns it for a touchdown. That's the first defensive touchdown for MSU this season. Tie game 7-7. Still in the first quarter here now, 14-7. Peyton Thorne on a play fake rollout, and he looks onto the right to find Trey Mosley for a 14-yard gain. This drive resulted in a punt, and the Spartan offense stalled all day long. Following drive for the Buckeyes, here's Stroud out of another play fake, throwing a 51-yard touchdown pass to Julian Fleming. Stroud was 21 for 26 on the day, throwing for 361 yards and a game-high 6 touchdowns. With this loss, the Spartans remain winless in Big Ten play. They'll take on the Wisconsin Badgers at Spartan Stadium on Saturday. Kickoff is set for 4 p.m. The Spartans return to Ralph Young Field for the first time since September 18th, playing host to rival Michigan on Friday. Just over a minute into the game, Laura Clark takes it from the corner, fights through traffic, and knocks it in to put Michigan on the board. The Wolverines struck again later in the quarter, ending the half up 2-0. After a scoreless third, we move on to the fourth. Michigan still up 2-0. A penalty shot for the Wolverines gives Sarah Piertek a great look at the goal as she knocks it in on an assist from Abby Tamer. Just a minute later, MSU sets up for a penalty of their own, and Merrill Hansen takes advantage, knocking it in for the Spartans' only goal of the game. The Spartans would go on to lose 3-1. Michigan State also faced Ball State on Sunday, securing a 5-3 victory in the non-conference matchup to push their record to 6-6. They continue their homestand on Friday against Northwestern. The Spartan football team hosted Indiana on Saturday. It was Michigan State's final home game of the season, and they needed one more win to earn a bowl berth. It was a chilly afternoon here in East Lansing on Saturday. Students in the deep end were tossing snowballs, having a great time with each other. And we start in the second quarter with Peyton Thorne throwing it left to Elijah Collins, and it bounces off his hands into Malik Carr in the end zone. MSU held a commanding 24-7 lead at halftime. It was all fun and games for Sparty and everyone at Spartan Stadium. Kenneth Walker III was in attendance and watched his former teammate Elijah Collins break free here for 31 yards for his second touchdown of the game. This put the Spartans up ahead 31-14. It was all Hoosiers for the rest of this one though. In the fourth quarter, Josh Henderson plunges through for 6 and the extra point tied it at 31. The score remained tied in overtime as both teams had kicks blocked in the first OT. Sean Shivers plows through here to give the Hoosiers a 39-31 lead after a 2-point conversion, and the last pass from Peyton Thorne to Jaden Reed is incomplete, and Indiana pulls off the stunner in double overtime. That's all we have for today's edition of the Spartan Sports Report. You can catch up on any of our previous episodes on our YouTube channel. I'm AJ Evans.